Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium as we are about ready to do a 4th of July shindig here that the Pima County people have put together and have done an outstanding job. We have about 10 times more folks in the crowd than we have normally, and the color guard and the choir coming off the field here very shortly, and we will be getting underway in the not-too-distant future. Checking the starting lineups for the visiting Roswell, New Mexico Invaders. Rene Merida will top it off. He plays left field, and right field is Roche Woodard. We're glad to see Roche back. He was out of the game on Saturday night after stepping wrong on the third base bag and twisting an ankle. In the third spot, the league's leading batter, Cody Bishop, who bats at .431. And then in the cleanup spot is Keoyu Gaspar. He's the first baseman, followed by Bobby Webb, who plays third base. In the sixth position, it'll be the catcher, Cody Kaufman. Christian Johnson will be batting seventh. He is the second baseman. The pitcher bats in the eighth spot in the order, as pitchers do bat here in the Pecos League. Blake Oliver will be the eighth batter of the pitcher, and Brett Balkin will be the shortstop for the Roswell Invaders. For the hometown Tucson Saguaros, and these two have split 2 of the 5 games so far in this series, this being the 5th game and decider. Right now, Roswell is in second spot by a game, or check that, 2.5 games. So this, of course, will be a 2-game swing. If the Saguaros win it, they will go out to 3.5 games, and if the Roswell, New Mexico Invaders win it, it'll narrow down to 1.5 games. So a very important between the number 1 team in the South and the number 2 team in the South as well. Batting for the Saguaros, leading off, will be Michael Morris. He is the shortstop, followed by his double play combo mate at second base, Michael Rampone. Adam Urbania will be at left field, and he is the third hitter in the lineup. The fourth hitter, the third baseman, check that, the first baseman, Ryan Retz. Jesse Baker, the catcher, will bat 5. In the sixth spot, Tanner Geisel will play third base. Seventh man of the order is number 14, Thomas McKenna, the right fielder. The starting pitcher tonight, Stephen Borkowski for the Tucson Saguaros, and he is 5-0 on the season. And then Burnell Daly will bat in the ninth spot. He is the center fielder. Rene Merida is up there. He bats .354 so far on the season. Left fielder from the left side. And he'll be looking at Steve Borkowski with Tanner Geisel in at the grass at third base, which is an unusual position for him. And the first pitch is a called strike. Borkowski on his second pitch, missing on the outside corner. A balmy evening here at Tucson Veterans Memorial Stadium in Tucson, Arizona. Next pitch misses for a ball, and we have a 2-1 count. Just getting underway, and the next pitch a called strike, and we'll go to 2-2. 102 degrees. This one fouled off straight back, just barely caught the end of the bat. And the count will remain 2-2. It's Tanner Geisel at third, Michael Morris at short. Michael Rampone is out at second, and Ryan Retz is the first baseman. 2-2 misses outside, so right away we'll go to a 3-2 count. Outfield left to right, Adam Urbania. Burnell Daly in center, and Thomas McKenna is in right field. The battery, of course, Borkowski and Baker. Fouled off the end of the bat, and we'll go to pitch number 8 in the order here. 3-2 pitch on the way. Gets him at called strike on the knees for the first out here in the top of the first inning. Woodard, as I mentioned, sprained his ankle on third base. What he did is he rounded the bag, looked up to see if a ball had gone through on a very close play and in the dirt at first base. Ryan Retz did grab the ball, and as Woodard stepped, he stepped on the edge of the bag and twisted his ankle. First pitch in is a ball. Second one is also a ball inside, and we have a 2-0 count. And we go 3-0. Nobody on. Top of the first, one out here. Borkowski is 7-0 on the year. Apparently he picked up a victory on the road trip. Unfortunately, the league statistics are down right now. 4 pitches and a man on first right away. So after striking out the first batter, Borkowski loses sight of the plate and walks the first walk of the day for Borkowski. That'll bring up Cody Bishop. He is the league's leading hitter. At the set, check at first. Bunt down the third baseline. Tanner Geisel over and has no play. They're going to take, somebody's going to have to hustle down to third base to cover that. Tanner Geisel has a tendency to play way back at third base, and that time it cost him, as Cody Bishop, not afraid to do something just to get a base hit, did exactly that. And we have first and second with one out, and the cleanup hitter, KOU Gasper. Gasper 0-6 in the series so far. He's the first baseman tonight. The lead runner, Morita, not a particular threat to steal, as Borkowski continues to have trouble finding home plate. One-0 pitch, 2 on, 1 out. This one swung on and lifted to left field. Adam Urbania over next to the line, in fact, in foul territory. And the second out is recorded here in the top of the first inning. Bobby Webb, the hitter. Webb on Thursday night just really pounded Tucson pitching. Got a home run, got 4 RBIs total. Batting .372 on the season. He is the 5th hitter in the lineup, plays third base. 2 outs here in the top of the 5th inning. Top of the 5th inning, hello. Top of the first inning. See, I'm all anxious about the fireworks here. Need to have those done. Pitch way outside. Jesse Baker, the catcher, does a good job of reaching out and grabbing hold of it to make sure it does not go to the backstop. Slow curve catches that outside corner and will even out the count at 1-1. Kitty Playland here tonight. Nice job done by Pima County representatives, as they have really gotten on the ball here and done an outstanding job of getting a nice crowd here. Next pitch is a ball, and we'll go to 2-1. Roche Woodard is out at second base. He walked and moved over there when Cody Bishop got a bunt single. Bishop at first. 2 balls, 1 count, 1 strike. Pitch swung on and missed on that outside corner. And it squares up at 2-2. They have enough folks tonight that they've opened up the grass areas in left field and right field. So a lot of folks sitting around having a very nice evening here. We're going to have fireworks after the show, after the game rather. 2-2 pitch on the way, swung on and hit right back to Borkowski. Borkowski runs it over to Retz at first base, and that will end the inning. No runs for Roswell in the top of the first. They did get one hit.
Tucson has the greatest fans in baseball, so when you grab some buds to cheer during the Pecos League, let everyone know you're a Budweiser good sport. Be responsible, be sure to make a plan to make it all.
Blake Oliver is on the mound for Roswell. He is 4-1 on the season. However, he has a 7.41 ERA, and something a statistic that they've been keeping track of here recently, WHIP, that stands for walks and hits per innings pitched, and he has a 1.4 WHIP, so that means that they cut a batter in half and put him on, means that about 1.5 batters do get on base with him. Earned run average of 7.41 is really up there, even for the Pecos League, where the hitters do have a bit of an advantage, especially when they're playing in Roswell. And the Roswell batting averages certainly indicate that. So we're in the bottom of the first inning, and we'll see Michael Morris, Michael Rampone, and Adam Urbania. Urbania is the second leading hitter in the Pecos League. We saw the first leading hitter last inning for Roswell, and that in the form of Cody Bishop. Bishop batting .431, and he already has a base hit bunt to start things off. Tucson is trying to protect a 2.5 game lead. And whenever you're playing somebody in your own division, and especially somebody that's right behind you, they call it a 2-game game. Kind of a silly phrase, but that's what it is. Because basically, if Tucson wins, they'll be 3.5 games up. However, if Roswell wins, they'll be only a game and a half behind, so that's a 2-game swing. Michael Morris had himself a game on the second game on Sunday over in Bisbee, Arizona. 2 extra base hits as Tucson took home a 3-2 victory over Roswell in 7 innings in a doubleheader over there. Michael singled in the first, doubled in the third, and homered in the 7th. Maybe if they had had a couple of more innings as a regular game, first pitch strike on the knees, he might have been able to hit for the cycle. Most people know what the cycle is, but if you're unaware of that, it means you got a single, a double, a triple, and a home run. Next pitch also on the knees, as Michael historically seems to struggle the first 2 at-bats, and then he goes nuts later on. Right now he's behind 0-2. Misses way outside, does Blake Oliver. Kind of an interesting defensive lineup at shortstop. Brett Balkin has a tendency to play shortstop a long way to his right towards the foul line, and that bunches himself with Bobby Webb at third base. Slow changeup hit into center field, but it looks like Bishop has a line on it, and he does. So the first out of the inning here for the Tucson Saguaros in the bottom of the first inning at Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium in Tucson, Arizona. Nice to have you with us. Appreciate it. Nice to have some of the folks from New Mexico checking in with us as well. Been a very competitive series between these two, as they have split pretty evenly. although Roswell is up by 1 game, despite the fact being 2.5 games behind in the standings. First pitch, Ben's Rampone over for a ball. Bobby Webb at third, Brett Balkin at short, Christian Johnson at second, and K.O.U. Gasper at first. Oliver, the pitcher, set to go to Cody Kaufman, the catcher, misses inside again, and 2 balls and no strikes. Left to right, Rene Morita in left, Cody Bishop in center, and Roche Woodard in right. There are no sun fields at this time of the day here in Tucson. This one wrapped out towards Johnson, has a little trouble handling it, but does get a hold of it, and 4-3 is going to be the second out. The mountains that you might see just a taste in the background, loosen it, bring it up. There you go. Did you tighten it up again? Okay. The mountains that you see exposed in the background there are called the Catalina Mountains. And probably one of the reasons, along with the fact that we are about 1,000 feet higher than than Phoenix, it does cool down at night, although it's 102 as game started. Adam Urbania, the left fielder, is the hitter from the left side. Second leading hitter in the league, wraps one strong down the right field side. And am I not mistaken, but some little girl made an absolutely spectacular grab down there. Boy, that ball came whistling in there, and a little girl that looks to be about 10 or 11 grabbed a hold of it before it hit anybody, right at Johnson at second base, and it'll be a 1-2-3 inning for the Tucson Saguaros. No hits in the inning. Ten pitches in the inning, so a very efficient inning for the starter, Blake Oliver, for the Roswell, New Mexico Invaders. After 1 full, we have nada. And looking at Roswell, we'll see 6, 7, and 8 coming up. Cody Kaufman, the catcher, followed by Christian Johnson, the second baseman, and then Blake Oliver. In the Pecos League, unlike the American League and many of the minor leagues around the nation, the pitcher does bat. Pitcher does not bat in high school for the most part. In the youth leagues, a lot of times the pitchers are your best athletes. And then by the time they get finished with high school and college, where you have the designated hitter, they have lost their skills. Although the Saguaros have a young man named Cameron Cox that is batting well into the 300s and has been used as a pinch hitter on occasion. Another pitcher, Randy Keene, was the regular third baseman for his college team and batted in the 300s there, but so far as a professional, he's had a little trouble getting untracked and getting started. Top of the second inning for Roswell, New Mexico. Cody Kaufman, who is batting .361 overall, is the catcher tonight. Cody was pressed into service on Saturday evening here in Tucson when Roche Woodard twisted his ankle. The regular third baseman, Webb, was sent out to right field where Woodard played. Boy, the bat just shattered all over the place. That's what happens when you're using these maple bats. But it's gotten to the point where the composite bats and the hickory bats are so outlandishly expensive. Boy, that thing just split right down. Didn't even break in two, just split along, I'm assuming, a grain line in the bat. So Kaufman will come back up there with a new stick from the left side to the right-handed pitching Steve Borkowski. Borkowski 7-0 on the year. This one ripped foul right side, and Kaufman finds himself behind 0-2. 0-2 pitch on the way, misses outside. Don't want to give him anything nice to hit with an 0-2 pitch. Borkowski's earned run average is 3.26. And looking at his whip, it's 1.1, as I mentioned earlier. This one swung on and hit to left field, but Urbana missed it. He came in, looked like he had a bead on it, and it went over his head, and that will result in a double. Take a check on the score. Maybe he lost it in the lights here. The lights are on already. He came in like he saw it all the way, and then he kind of ducked down as the ball blew past him, and I think that the official score is going to give Cody Kaufman a double out of the deal and say that Urbana lost it in the lights. The lights have really not taken over on the field as yet. However, they are on, and if you get a ball up into the center of one of those light towers, it would be real hard to pick up, and it was just about at that angle. It's a good thing that Adam didn't get his head taken off with that one. Next pitch is swung on and missed, or fouled over to the right side. There is an aluminum kind of sunshade around the top, and when a ball hits that, I've mentioned it before, it sounds like a Chinese gong. So Christian Johnson up there, the second baseman, batting .319. Swung on and hit, fair ball down the right side, and diving for it was Tanner Geisel, and holding up was Kaufman at second base to make sure that the ball went past Geisel. It did, but that enabled Kaufman to get only to third base on the base hit by Christian Johnson, and right away Roswell is in business with a threat here. The pitcher, Blake Oliver, and this might be a perfect example of what I was talking about, that a pitcher is a good hitsman, because Blake Oliver is batting .368 on the year. Geisel moves in on the grass at third base, and of course Ryan Retz at first is holding against the bag. The center of the infield, shortstop and second base are playing at double play depth as the ball gets loose in the stands and comes out on the field, and that necessitated a timeout. Johnson at first, Kaufman at third, nobody out here in the top of the second inning, as Roswell has had men in scoring position in both the first and the second inning now. Around to do a safety squeeze, I'm going to assume. The pitch is outside. What the batter does is get the ball down, and then the runner at third base, in the form of Cody Kaufman, decides whether he can go or not. Next pitch, bunt, fouled at the plate. 1-1. If you followed any of the University of Arizona baseball games this year, this is a favorite tactic that they used, was the safety squeeze with less than 2 outs with runners on first and third. Nobody out here, top of the second inning, first and third. Kaufman at third, Johnson at first. Blake Oliver with a 1-1 count. Corners are pulled in, double play depth for the others. This one a swing and a foul into the stands, so 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bukowski has worked nearly 50 innings, 49 2/3, has given up 18 earned runs for a 3.26 earned run average, but right now he's struggling after having given up hits to the first and second batter up. Next pitch, Borkowski thought he had it, missed on the outside corner, and it goes 2-2. Just delightful to see everyone out here, and we certainly hope that they have an opportunity to come out. Every Thursday through Saturday we have home games here. At the set, to the plate, misses outside, and the count will go full. 1 pitch away from Borkowski, loading them up with nobody out here in the top of the second. No score so far. An opening double in this inning by Cody Kaufman, and I'm absolutely certain that the very sure outfielder Adam Urbana lost it in the lights. Swung on and hit to straightaway center field. Vernell Daly over to get it, and this will probably score a run as the throw comes into the infield, and the sacrifice fly brings around the first Roswell run here in the top of the second inning in the form of Cody Kaufman. So an RBI sacrifice fly to center field as Blake Oliver, the pitcher, got it out there far enough to be able to get something going. Now this is the ninth hitter in the lineup, Balkin. He's batting .329, but he struggled here in the series so far. Geisel, who generally plays very deep at third base, and they appealed at third base to see if he left too soon, but the umpire in the field, they go again with it. Didn't do it right the first time. If you do it the second time, it's going to be safe no matter what. Couture is the base umpire, and Holloway is behind the plate. One run in, one out, men on first and second. Check that, man on first continues to be with one out. Outside on the curveball to Balkin. Fourth hitter in the inning. Outfield pretty much straight away. However, Urbania, who likes to play towards the line in left field, is in that spot right now. Geisel is back at third, although there's only one out. Once again, misses that outside corner. And Borkowski not quite as sharp with his 7-0 record that we've seen previously tonight. Having a little trouble finding home plate, has already recorded a walk, has gone 3-2, went that way to Blake Oliver, and now is 2-0. Misses low, and it goes 3-0. I would suspect that many of these players, especially the rookies from Division II and Division III and NAIA schools, have not seen this many people and played in front of this many people before. Fourth ball high. Pushes another runner over to scoring position. That's Christian Johnson. And we'll go to the top of the order, Rene Morita. Morita struck out on a called third strike. And a little conference at the mound. Mr. Barr, you're going to have some video tonight, are you? Okay, there you go. Channel 9, check it out. Jason Barr does a fine job. Something else that's been very impressive, the number of times that he mentions players in the big leagues or in the signing that have at one time played for the University of Arizona. So that's a real pleasure to follow those people. Morita, the left fielder, worked the count to 3-2 in the first inning, then took a called third strike. Next batter is Woodard. Runners on first and second, a run already in, and one out. A sacrifice fly, plated one. Top of the second inning. Borkowski, this one is ripped to right field. McKenna in to get it. Ball pretty hard hit, and so they'll hold the runner up at third, and the bases are loaded. Roche Woodard walked his first time up on 4 straight pitches. So Stephen Borkowski certainly having his troubles in just 2 innings tonight. Already given up 3 4-base hits and walked 2. Trying to go 8-0, but right now on the ropes. Misses outside. Woodard came into the ball game batting .310. Mentioned it's nice to see him back in the ball game after going out with an injury Saturday night. Stepped wrong on third base. 1-0 pitch. Catches that outside corner and will go even at 2. Bases jammed, 1-1, swung on, fouled into the stands on the right side, 1-2. Steve Borkowski about come to the plate with his 21st pitch of this inning, which is highly out of character for him. He threw 19 pitches in the first inning, so getting a lot of work early here. 1-2 pitch, misses outside, squared up at 2. Lights beginning to take over. They were a problem for Adam Urbania in the first inning. In the second inning to start things off. A line drive right at him, and he had to duck away at the last second. Pitch high, check and see if he swung. No, says the base umpire. So for the third time in this ball game, Borkowski is at a 3-2 count with the hitter. Got a strikeout once, got a walk the other time. Misses outside, and that'll walk one in. Still no business in the Tucson Saguaros bullpen. Don't want to go to the hook too early with somebody that's 7-0 for you. But certainly Mr. Borkowski is struggling. Second run in here in the top of the second inning, 2-0 in favor of the visitors from New Mexico. This is a bad player to see up there. Full count, a leading hitter in the Pecos League at 431. First pitch a ball. Ball 2 as Steven has lost complete sight of home plate there. Cody Bishop only 4 home runs on the season, swung on and missed, 2-1. Bishop, however, has 17 doubles, 2 triples. Did I say 6 home runs? Oh my goodness, misread that. 16 home runs. So start shaking in your boots here with the bases jammed. Only 1 out here, 2 in. Called strike, and it'll even out at 2-2. Probably the last young man that you want to see here. Bishop on the season, 431. Got a bunt single in the first inning. Not looking for a bunt here. Swung on and hit to Rentz. Rentz to second for 1, and the ball is fumbled as he's taken it out, and the umpire does rule that the out is recorded as the transfer from the glove to the hand of Rampone dropped the ball. So we're going to go 3-6. That was Morris taking the ball out there for the second out. But because of the bobble and not being able to record the double play, Brett Balkin comes down, and it's a 3-0 lead for the visitors. Morita moves around to third base, so we have him first and third and 2 outs here. First pitch on the knees, a called strike. KOU Gasper had his struggles in the series, is 0 for 6. Flew out to Urbania in left field in the first inning for the second out of the inning. From the left side against the right-hander Borkowski. And Steven is struggling, giving up 3 here in the top of the second. Changeup drops down low, gets the strike. So 2 strikes against Gasper, the third baseman for Roswell. Webb is in the on-deck circle. He'll be the 9th batter this inning if they get that far. Infield is back. Rhett's holding at first base. Pitch swung on and missed, strike 3, and they get out of the inning, but not before 3 crossed. If you're going to give up a big inning, it's probably a good idea to get it out of the way early so you can begin to chip away at it. So after 1.5 innings of play, it is Roswell 3 and Tucson nada.
Help make sure you and your buds have a great time at tonight's game of otherwise a good sport. By respecting other fans, and if you're 21 and older and choose to
31 pitches in the inning for Bukowski, and that makes 50 after 2. Still no activity in the Tucson bullpen. Every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night, we have the ball game on the webcast here, but we'd sure love to have you come on down and see what's going on. I'd like to invite you to a Saguaros game in person. Hey, think about joining us on Thursday for Dollar Beer Night. Right on. That's every Thursday. It's beer for $1 at the Kino Stadium, Tucson Saguaros baseball. Well, it's Blake Oliver on the mound for Roswell, and he's the one with the inflated ERA, 7.4, but he is not the one that has given up 3. So we'll see how the Tucson Saguaros struggle back, looking at 4, 5, and 6 this inning. Ryan Retz, Jesse Baker, and Tanner Geisel. Retz will step in there batting .327. From the right side against the right-hander Blake Oliver, his second inning of work. Changeup misses inside. Just an absolutely delightful crowd here tonight. Love to see this every Friday and Saturday night if we could possibly get it going. First year for the Saguaros, slow curve misses outside. 2-0. Baseball missing in the Tucson area for a season or so as some of the clubs have come and gone. AAA baseball here in Tucson certainly deserve a AAA if nothing else. Outside corner, 2-1. And this is a AAA ballpark. If you're going to get a franchise at that level, there's a certain requirement for seating, and this one certainly has it. Swung on and popped real high on a curveball. The catcher, Kaufman, with his mask off, couple of steps back and grabs it for the out. 4 up and 4 down so far for the Saguaros. As we'll look at Jesse Baker, the catcher for Tucson. Jesse really has come on strong here lately, batting an even .400, and that is up considerably after he had a very fine road trip. A doubleheader over in Roswell, and unfortunately the box scores have an error on them and we can't see him, so we just assume because his batting average went up about 20 points that he had an outstanding Sunday afternoon over there. First pitch to him outside. Jesse generally shares the catching duties with Danny Droll, and they're about on a par with one another, and that is really something fine, especially in this hot weather. Swung on and missed, kind of jammed him on an inside pitch. 1-1. Salina and Alpine in a doubleheader today. Topeka at Trinidad and Great Bend at Garden City. That's all in the north section of the Pecos League. 1-1 pitch set to come your way. Slow curve hit high into left field. Rene Morita back on the warning track. Looks like he has a bead on it, and he does. So Jesse gave it a ride, a deep one. All it shows is an out in the record book. In the south, it's Roswell here, of course, and then White Sands at Santa Fe. Take a look at some of the results from yesterday here in a second. Tanner Geisel stepping in. Tanner batting .314. Came to us in about the second week of the season. From the right side is Tanner. First one misses down low into the dirt. Blake Oliver has had a bit of a struggle here getting that first pitch strike in. Out of the 5 batters, he's missed that first pitch strike on 4 of them. This one he gets in there. 3 up, 3 down in the bottom of the first for Tucson, and 2 up, 2 down so far in the bottom of the second. They're on the short end of a 3-zip count here. Slow curve misses, swung and missed. One ball, 2 strikes, a couple of outs, nobody on. One, 2. Hit towards Johnson at second. Gloves it, gets it over to first base, and another 3 up, 3 down inning for the Tucson Saguaros. So Oliver Blake, without regard to displaying a very strong and high ERA, has breezed through the first 2 innings here.
Roswell is in second with a 31-14 record, and Tucson has a record of 34 wins and just 12 losses.
"11 pitches for Blake Oliver in the second inning and 21 overall, so he is certainly moving along with an economy of pitches. We'll go to the top of the third inning, and this will be Bobby Webb, Cody Kaufman, and Christian Johnson. And out of the 3, both Kaufman and Johnson have had base hits. Top of the third inning, Stephen Borkowski out there trying to right the ship. 50 pitches in the first 2 innings, 1 strikeout and a couple of walks. Given up 4 base hits so far and 3 runs, so not the Stephen Borkowski that we've seen in the past, who comes into this ball game sporting a 7-0 record. First pitch in for a strike to Bobby Webb, the third baseman. Started the game batting .372 and grounded out to the pitcher Borkowski to end the first inning. Next pitch swung on and hit into the screen on the right side, and right away Bobby Webb is in the hole 0-2. Certainly was not in the hole on Thursday evening, as he hit a 3-run home run and got a single for another RBI. And that was a game that Tucson lost 9-3. Next pitch hit out towards Morse. Morse waits on the big bounce and gets it over in the dirt almost to Ryan Retz. Sometimes if you have an easy play like that, you think about it too much and throw that ball away, but fortunately that's not what occurred there. Cody Kaufman, who got the light-aided double in the second inning, ripped a line drive to Adam Urbania in left field, and Urbania, as he came in and appeared to have it lined up, suddenly ducked away. And the only assumption that we have there is that he got lost in the lights. Base hit to right field, first pitch swinging does Cody Kaufman. And a base runner with one out here in the top of the third inning. And Roswell already leading 3-0.
Second baseman, 32 pitcher, Johnson.
Johnson got a base hit on the heels of the double that Kaufman got in the second inning. However, the ball was just past Tanner Geisel, so Kaufman had to hold up at second base to make sure that it got by. And he got to third only. First pitch swinging for Christian Johnson. A slow curve outside, misses it. So then Blake Oliver, the third hitter in the inning, got an RBI sacrifice fly to center field. But then the floodgates opened a little bit after that. Next pitch swinging, fouled off to the right side. So Borkowski kind of gotten back in the rhythm here. 0-2 against Johnson and 0-2 against Webb. However, Cody Kaufman, first pitch swinging, got a base hit and currently rests at first base. Misses way outside, which is exactly what you need to do on an 0-2 count. Don't want to give him anything good to hit. Not familiar with this ballpark, but I would say we're in the neighborhood of 6,000 or 7,000 possibly. A lot of people in the outfield grass as the next pitch misses and the count goes 2-2. As of Saturday when we were here, they had already sold at least 2,500. Outside corner, called strike, and Johnson takes a long, hard look at Sean Holloway behind the plate. Agree or not, you're out of there. So 2 outs, man on first, and Blake Oliver has one of the runs batted in here. Oliver hit a medium deep fly ball to center field. But when we say medium deep, that's probably probably a couple hundred feet out there, because straightaway center is 405. Down the foul line's 340, 375 in the alleys, and then 405 straight away. One ball. Outside corner, called strike. So a ball and a strike now on the pitcher, Oliver. Borkowski trying to get his counterpart. Oliver ran him to 3-2 and then put the bat on the ball and got that sacrifice fly to get the first run in. That was in the second inning. This one just misses outside. Holloway takes a long, hard look at it and says no. 2 balls, 1 strike, couple of outs here. In the top of the second inning, a man on first. Outfield pretty much straight away, although both the corner fielders, Urbania and left, and McKenna and right, are shaded towards the lines. Daly and center in a little bit as we go to 3-1. At the set, the look at first, 3-1 to the plate, misses inside. That's the third walk given up by Borkowski, which is very un-Borkowski-like. As I mentioned, he's 7-0 on the season and has a sparkling 3.26 earned run average, which has probably become a sparkler and exploded here, at least a couple of runs, as he gave up 3 in the top of the second inning. Shortstop Brett Balkin steps in on the season, batting .321, got a walk and came around to score in the second inning. Swung on and missed. Boy, I tell you what, the fences were creeping in on that swing. Did not get cheated at all. Started a small tornado at home plate, did Balkin, on a ripping first pitch swing. 0-1. Misses outside, so we'll go at 1-1. This is the 5th of 5 games in a row here against the Roswell, New Mexico Invaders, and it's 2-2, both sides winning a couple of games. This one misses inside, and Borkowski continues to struggle in getting behind the hitters. Tucson will be back home on the Thursday, the 7th, 8th, and 9th. They'll be going against the White Sands Pupfish. Pitch misses outside, 3-1. Pupfish in the south standings were threatening towards the top of the standings, but they've run into some troubling times here as they are 20-28 and 15 games currently behind Tucson. Swung on, belted, left side, foul. 3-2. Got some good wood on it, but it does not count if you're outside the yellow pole out there. Did have home run distance down the 340 line, but it was a good 20 feet foul, so we'll come back and try a 3-2 count. Men on first and second, couple of outs, top of the 3rd inning. Runners going, outside, misses, walk, load them up. Some movement out in the Tucson bullpen. Whoever's trying to loosen up a little bit out there has the number back away from us, so we'll have to wait until maybe he gets up on the mound and starts to throw. Borkowski just having a terrible time here tonight. Pitch on the knees for a called strike as we go to the top of the order. Rene Morita. Morita got a base hit in the 2nd inning. Struck out looking in the 1st, 1 for 2. Inside, nice job by Baker to get over and keep it in front of him. Morita coming into the ball game batting .354. At the set, right-hander against left-hander. Hit towards Retz, who backs up, but it's foul. Ryan Retz at first base, Michael Rampone, the defensive guy at second, Michael Morris at short, Tanner Geisel at third base, left to right, Adam Urbania, Burnell Daly in center field, and Thomas McKenna is around in right field. McKenna's a little bit deep here. Urbania has taken a couple of more steps towards the foul line in left field in case he swings late on one. 1 ball, 2 strikes, high for a ball, and we'll go to 2-2. Woodard, the next hitter up, if we get that far. A couple outs here, top of the 3rd. Swung on and hit to center field. Burnell Daly over quickly, and he'll take it for the 3rd out of the inning. So without regard to the fact the bases were loaded and a runner in scoring position from the 2nd batter on, Roswell comes away with nothing. So after 2.5, it is Roswell 3 and Tucson nothing. Well, a base hit given up by Borkowski in the inning, along with a couple of walks. That makes 4 after just 3 innings of play. 5 hits on the night. And 26 pitches in that inning. He's up to 76. So we'll look for some activity in the bullpen. Borkowski is the 2nd hitter in the inning, but so far nobody throwing out there. We'll see 7, 8, and 9, McKenna, then the pitcher spot, and then Burnell Daly. Like I said earlier, it's a little troubling to go out with an early hook when you've got a 7-0 kid on the mound. But Borkowski definitely is not the Borkowski that we've seen in the past. Blake Oliver takes a long time coming out from the Roswell dugout. Two teams split yesterday. They had a doubleheader because of that. Well, it wasn't really a rain out. It was a mud out on Friday. The field here did pretty well with the rain on Thursday. But then we came back with another downpour on Friday morning. And by about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the Pima County folks said, we're not playing tonight. So they played a doubleheader Sunday. Roswell won the first one 5-1. Kind of unfortunate. Brian Lubeck's parents are here in town. They traveled over to Bisbee for the game. And unfortunately, Brian came up on the losing end of that 5-1 count. And then Michael Morris basically went out of his mind in the second game. Almost hit for the cycle in just a 7-inning game as Tucson won it 3-2. So McKenna stepping in there out of St. Joseph's College in Brooklyn, New York. He's a New York boy, Bellerose, New York. Been struggling a little bit with the bat, but has done a fine job in the outfield. Turned in a couple of really fine plays out there. Thomas stepping in, batting .267, and that's about where he's been all year long. He did get a home run in the first game over there in Roswell. Went 1 for 3, drove in one run and scored another. Homered in the 7th inning in the 9-inning first game of the doubleheader over there that the Saguaros lost by a 5-1 count, first pitch swinging. And that is the first pitch strike that Oliver has gotten in since the very first batter in the first inning. But he's ahead 3-0. How can you complain? 0-1 pitch to McKenna, the right fielder for the Saguaros. Just misses inside, 1-1. One count. Slow curve misses outside, 2-1. Giving you most of the scores from yesterday. White Sands beat Santa Fe 18-7. White Sands will be in here next weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Off the fist, fielded by Gasper, and over to cover is Oliver, and that will be a 3-1 out. First out of the bottom of the third inning. Many years ago, watching a ball game on television out of Candlestick Park in San Francisco, the fog came in, and the absolutely brilliant play-by-play guy for the Los Angeles Dodgers, Vin Scully, talked for 35 minutes about keeping a scorebook. And I would have sworn he talked for about 5 minutes. Borkowski stepping in there, the pitcher. Swung on and hit out towards Christian Johnson at second. Easy play for Christian. 4-3 first pitch swinging. Second out of the bottom of the third. Anyway, if you are not totally aware of the scoring situation, your pitcher is considered to be number 1, catcher 2, and then it goes first, second, 3, 4. The number 5 is designated for the third baseman. Then you go 6 for the shortstop, and then as you swing left to right in the outfield, it goes 7, 8, and 9, and that's when you say 3-1. That would be a ground out from the first baseman. Burnell, first pitch swinging, misses it off to the left side. So when you say 3-1, you know that the first baseman picked it up and tossed it to the pitcher for the out. Now, if you win the trivia contest with that answer, you get to split the pot with me. You know that, don't you? Burnell Daly, 0-1. Nobody on, 2 outs, bottom of the third. The Saguaros have yet to get a base hit or a base runner. Burnell swings late, hits it down towards the Kitty playland. Boy, Pima County has pulled out all the stops tonight. They've done an outstanding job of promoting this 4th of July here at Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium. Nice house. They got a Kitty playland down the side. Reduced admission prices. Swung on and missed on a high fastball, and that will be 9 up and 9 down so far as we are watching Blake Oliver spin a perfect game to this point. No hits in the inning. Eight pitches on the inning for Oliver as he is just breezing right along. 29 pitches so far over 3 innings and a perfect game into 3. That was always one of my complaints about the San Diego Padres. It just seemed like every time that they had the stands absolutely filled to the gunnels, they would have the worst game ever. And right now, that's kind of the category that the Saguaros are in. Down 3-0 after 3. And a packed house. Dollar dogs, concessions half price, fireworks, a Kitty playland. So we'll go to Roswell's 4th inning. And we'll start with Rochelle Woodard, Cody Bishop, and Kaoyu Gasper. 2, 3, and 4 in the lineup here. As Roswell is working towards cutting that lead Tucson has in the standings in the South by another game. And that means that they would go out of this 5-game series having closed down from 2.5 to 1.5 games, but we've still got a lot of baseball to go. And this Tucson Saguaro gang is definitely talented enough to come back. Rochelle Woodard has walked twice. His walk in the 2nd inning drove in a run. First pitch swinging down the right field line and into the corner, foul. It was not foul by much, I'll tell you. In the dirt, 1-1. Next pitch swung on and missed. 1 ball, 2 strikes. One ball, 2 strikes. Leadoff hitter here in the top of the 4th inning. Rochelle Woodard, the right fielder. Swung on and missed, and that will be the 2nd strikeout recorded by Borkowski. And maybe that is an omen of things to come for the big right-hander who has struggled so far. 76 pitches through 3 innings. He's given up 3 runs, 4 walks, and 5 base hits. Cody Bishop's looked at a first ball strike, outside corner. He bunted for a base hit back in the 1st inning, got on a fielder's choice in the 2nd inning, and belts one deep to center field. high fly ball, and back there to get it is Burnell Daly. That thing probably went as high as it went far. So 2 batters up and 2 down, and maybe this will get Borkowski back on track. Kaoyu Gasper, the first baseman up there, he's one of the 3 strikeout victims. That happened back in the 2nd inning. Also flew out to left field, looks at the first one high for a ball. 0 for 2 on the game. Next one catches that outside corner for a called strike. And we'll go to 1-1. Swung on and hit into left field for a base hit. And that will bring up Bobby Webb. Webb is 0 for 2, although he had a tremendous night on Thursday here. Bobby Webb from the right side against the right-hander Borkowski. And so far, Borkowski giving up a base hit. That's his 6th on the game. Misses low and outside for a ball. At the set, 1-0, misses outside, 2-0. 2 outs here in the top of the 4th inning, and a runner on first, Gasper. Misses down low and go 3-0, and that's been a hallmark of the ball game to this point for Borkowski. Suddenly seems to lose home plate. And he's gone 3-0 and makes it 4. So a runner in scoring position with 2 out for Roswell as Kaoyu Gaspar goes over to second base on the strength of the walk by Bobby Webb, and that'll bring up Cody Kaufman. Kaufman is pounding Borkowski so far. Got a double in the 2nd inning. That was that one that Adam Urbania all of a sudden ducked away from. We think that he lost it in the lights. And then he got a base hit in the 3rd, so he is 2 for 2 coming into the ball game, batting .361. First pitch swinging, lofts it into the stands on the left side. Big hello to Wisconsin. Bryce Skelton's family checking in. Nice to have you there. Thank you very much. From the left side is Kaufman. Inside, did it hit him? Apparently not. It got away from the catcher. And so I guess we're going to call that a pass ball. And the runners move up, so now we have 2 in scoring position. And the way Kaufman is swinging the bat tonight, probably not a great idea. Need to be real careful with him with first base open. Way outside for 2 balls and 1 strike to Cody Kaufman, the catcher tonight for the Invaders. Gasper is at 3rd, Webb is at 2nd. We have a couple of outs in the top of the 4th inning. And they're going to go ahead and put him on with a 3-1 count now. So with a 2-1 count, an intentional pass coming up. And that will load him up with Christian Johnson coming in. Johnson has a base hit. Got that base hit in the 2nd inning when Roswell scored 3 runs on 4 hits. A couple of walks tossed in there and a fielder's choice. And Roswell picked up 3 runs. Borkowski at the set comes to the plate at the corner, at the knees for a called strike. And Chris Johnson, when he was called out on a 3rd strike in the 3rd inning, took a long, hard look back at the home plate umpire Holloway and did just the same right there. This one he offered at, going to see if he, oh, my goodness sakes. The umpires in the crowd felt that he went around, and quite frankly, as did I. But all in all, it's 1-1. Infield is back. There's a force out at all bases. Pitch is way outside, and Baker does a great job of crossing his body to get the glove out there and stop it before it went through him. 2 balls and 1 strike. Nobody across but threatening here in the top half of the 4th inning for Roswell. 2-1 at the set. Swung on, and that was a blast that probably stirred up the dirt a little bit there. Actually spun Johnson around. He wound up in the left-hand batter's box. So he definitely was looking for a granny there. Swung on and hit foul down the right side. So we will stay at 2-2. Johnson does have 4 home runs on the year. 44 RBI, is interested in at least getting 46 out of this, but the way the last swing was, not the one on the foul off, the one before that, he was looking for a granny. Hit down to Geisel at third, and he steps on the bag, and that'll end the inning. So Borkowski, after starting off the inning with a strikeout and a flyout, suddenly wobbled a little bit, got the bases loaded, but fortunately for the Saguaros, nobody came across, and after 3.5, it is 3 for Roswell and nothing for Tucson coming up. They run the bases for the kids here in the middle of the game because obviously we don't have Sunday dates here. Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium was already set up for an activity on Sunday here. And so the little ones are out there to run the bases, and they have a ton of them. They still have a big long line coming down, and I would suspect that we're going to take some time here to run the bases as they take off without the mascot saying go, as they are on the road. Many people still coming down out of the stands. This is a much bigger crowd than the Saguaros are accustomed to, and they had a line all the way up to the top, and I would suspect that we're just going to be sitting here for a little while watching little pumpkins run around the bases. There are a couple that look like they haven't been walking that long. As the PA announcer, one little girl went down, but she got right back up and got going. The PA announcer said go long before they were ready to go. There's still a line of people coming out of the stands, and now some are being turned back a little bit, which is very, very unfortunate. A couple of the kids, obviously used to running the bases where they run home, turned the corner at third and started coming home. And now some of the adults are cutting across the infield because they can't keep up with their little ones. There's a peanut and a half standing on third base right now. Be real surprised if he's much over 2, maybe 3. A couple more sneaking out of the stands. What the heck, it's a good time. It's July 4th. This is baseball, right? I tell you what, I got a couple of grandsons that just kill to run the bases. Most of the times, these base running escapades are done on Sunday after the game, but the schedule has the Tucson Saguaros over in Bisbee, Arizona, and so they don't want to keep the kids up until 10:30 or so at night to run the bases here after a game. So we've got that out of the way. And a little bit of a delay getting things going here as we're getting ready to go with the bottom of the fourth inning. Well, so far we're watching a perfecto. Blake Oliver on the mound warming up right now. 9 up and 9 down. "23 pitches for Borkowski in the top of the fourth. And that gets him to 99. So we're still keeping an eye out in the bullpen there. Only one hit given up that inning, but a couple of more walks, one intentional. And that will be the 6th walk that has been given up by Borkowski. So we'll see how the Saguaros can handle things here. In the bottom of the fourth inning, we'll see the top of the order, Michael Morris, followed by Rampone as Morris' first pitch swinging misses. And then Urbania. All of them over 300 hitters. Morris in the upper 300s, Rampone in the lower 300s. And Urbania is the second leading hitter in the Pecos League, and he's the third man to come up this inning. Has not been unusual to have Tucson behind early and coming back, but they haven't even put a bat on the ball here as Blake Oliver winds and deals. This one lifted into left field, and that'll be the first base hit of the game for Tucson. Morris turns and goes as the ball is lazily returned, and he will get a double out of it. The ball hit the wall at the 388 sign. Well, the sign's not out there anymore, but it is on the right field side. So Morris hustling gets a double out of it. And Michael Rampone steps in there batting .323 with first base open, and the leadoff hitter on for the Saguaros here in the fourth inning. From the right side is Michael Rampone. First pitch misses low. Well, for Blake Oliver with a 7.4 earned run average, he got through the first 9 hitters without a blemish, but looks at number 10, and Michael Morris touches him up for a double to the left center field gap. Big sweeping curve misses inside. 2-0. Probably not the greatest idea in the world to have a couple on here with Urbania coming up. Urbania is the second leading hitter in the Pecos League. Pecos League, 10 clubs, if you were not aware. They stretch from West Texas over to here to Arizona, through New Mexico, where they have a couple of clubs, and then up into Kansas and over to Colorado. So a 10-team independent league. Swung on and lifted to left center field. It's going to be in a trouble spot, and it's going to drop between everybody. But Michael Morris had to hang on at second base to see if anybody did catch up with it. So on a ball that might have been lower trajectory, would have scored Morris, but he had to hold up. And we have runners on first and third with nobody out, and Adam Urbania coming up. Urbania with 16 doubles, no triples, 9 home runs, and 52 RBI standing in there. And certainly with enough strength to tie this score. Play to first base is not in time, trying to catch Rampone napping a little bit over there. Urbania, the left fielder, probably would like to make up for it wasn't an error because the ball was lost in the lights, but I'm sure he feels it was a misplay on his part. First pitch swinging, doesn't get the bat out of the way on an inside pitch, and it's a foul strike. Adam went to my absolutely favorite school on the planet, Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania. Not that I'm a big rooter one way or the other. I just love the idea of a place called Slippery Rock. Pitch rammed down to first base. Nice hop pickup by the first baseman Gasper. Tries to go to second base and misses him at second base, but the run does score. Was that a fantastic play by Gasper as he dove to his left and grabbed the ball? It had taken one hop. Otherwise, it would have been a double, possibly a triple play. So Gasper had the presence of mind to step on the bag before he threw to second, but coming down to score is Michael Morris after a couple of hits, first out of the inning, runner on second base, and one run in here, and the batter is Ryan Retz, fourth batter in the order, a very open stance, and generally pitchers try to pound him on the outside corner. And that's exactly what happens. The ball gets away from the catcher, Kaufman, and down to third base is Rampone on a pass ball. So 90 feet away is the second rung for the Saguaros. They've gotten the first one in. After 9 up and 9 down by Blake Oliver, he gives up a double to Morris, a hustling double, I might add. Then a base hit by Rampone. However, that ball hung in the air a long time and dropped almost perfectly between the left fielder Morita, the center fielder Bishop, and the shortstop Balkin. So Morris had to hold up at second base. He got over to third, however. Pitch hit into right field towards the line and down. Fair ball. Going for second base is Retz. Sliding in. He's safe. So Retz with an RBI double. Woodard gave it the old college try. He really hustled, but the ball was fading away from him towards the line, and he was unable to catch up with it. And it goes to 3-2 now, still in favor of Roswell, but a runner on second base. And Jesse Baker, who came into the game batting .400 and who hit a ball to the warning track in left field, a long out, but it was an out in the second inning. Oliver at the set, looks back at second, comes to the plate, misses outside for a ball, and that has been his downfall, even when he had 9 up and 9 down. Consistently misses that first pitch strike, and here in the bottom of the fourth inning, the Saguaros have taken advantage of it. One out, a man on second. First base open, Baker up at the bat. Outside corner for a called strike as Jesse kind of looks back and says, I hope you give us one like that when I'm catching. Pitcher is slowly warming up in the Saguaros bullpen. Cannot pick up a number at this time. Nobody up in the Roswell bullpen. Hit and run, dribbled towards the third baseman. His only play will be at first, and he holds the ball as Retz gets over to third. A swinging bunt by Jesse Baker gets a base hit and gets Ryan Retz over to third base. First and third with one out. Tanner Geisel grounded out to the second baseman Christian Johnson in the second inning. Geisel steps in batting .314 at the beginning of tonight's action, so he's down a little bit below that.
Third baseman, 37, Tanner Geisel.
Tanner has 6 doubles, 1 triple, and 4 home runs. Swung on and missed. Kind of jammed him on the inside part of the plate. Retz is at third, Baker at first after a swinging bunt. And Geisel is up there. 17 RBI on the season has Geisel. That very open stance. Way outside, even at 1-1. Jesse Baker has stolen 5 out of 7 attempts, so we'll see if he moves. Not a very big leadoff at first base right now, however. Slow curve, waved at and missed that outside corner, and that's where Tanner is somewhat vulnerable. Has that open stance, waved it one way outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2 runners in, 3-2 count right now, or 3-2 score right now. Roswell still leading. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. Big crowd tonight at Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium. Kind of a half-hearted throw to first base to see if Baker was snoozing over there. He was not. McKenna's in the on-deck circle. The only out on an absolutely spectacular play by Gasper at first base on a 1-hop line drive. Inside, hit towards the middle, slow. Balkin just barely can go to second base, and they can't get him at first. That'll score another run. Very slow hit ball to the shortstop, Balkin, who was playing in double play position, so he was not in a situation to be able to come home and try to get Ryan Retz scoring, and we're all tied up. So after what would be considered an ugly first time around in the batting order for the Saguaros, they've come alive here in the bottom of the 4th inning, breaking up the perfect great game, breaking up the no-hitter, and breaking up the shutout all in 1 inning. 3-3 tie. First pitch goes over to the first baseman, Gasper, and trying to catch Geisel over there napping. Geisel not a threat to run. Has only gone twice, got thrown out once. McKenna got a home run in the first game of the doubleheader yesterday in Bisbee. Pitched down low for a ball. 1-0. 2 teams have split the 4 games that they've played so far in this 5-game series. This is, if you will, the rubber match. Nice crowd here at Kino Stadium. Partly because of the baseball, partly because of the low admission price, ball 2, partly because of the fireworks that are going to be offered after the game. Not exactly sure where they're going to come up. Parking lot in the hospital across the way has cars in it, and I'm not sure you want to be too close to the hospital when you're firing off fireworks. So we'll see where they come from. I certainly hope it's not going to be in the lot behind us. Outside corner called strike, 2-1. Of course, I'm the last guy they consult with when they do these things. And we see some fireworks off in the distance, some folks doing their personal fireworks. As if you're in this area, you know there were fireworks stands all over the place. About 9:15, which will be about 45 minutes from now, they're supposed to shoot them off at the A Mountain. 3-1. If you're not from this area, the A Mountain is a big A on the side of a, I don't know if it's called a mountain. You got to be 1,000 feet above the topography to be able to be considered a mountain, but they call it a mountain around here. Anyway, it's got a big A on it because of the University of Arizona. This is hometown to the Wildcats. Darn, if they'd have just one of those 2 games gotten a break, they might have won the College World Series. Slow curve called strike. McKenna thought it was a ball and tossed the bat aside and decided to head off, but that certainly didn't intimidate the umpire at all. and it's a 3-2 count. We'll see if they send Geisel. Like I said, he's got quick reflexes and a strong arm, but not particularly a first to third threat here. Gasper comes in to kind of keep him closer to the bag than would be normal on a 3-2 count. Geisel goes, ball is down low, and we have runners on first and second. That'll bring up the pitcher, Borkowski, but we'll see if they bring him up or not. They do not. Cameron Cox is the hitter. Cox is a pitcher. But Cameron has an outstanding batting average.
Now in the game, pitch hitting for Borkowski, number 24, Cameron Cox.
462 is Mr. Cox. 26 at-bats and 12 base hits. He's gotten a double in that mix, has 5 RBIs, swinging from the left side, so Borkowski is out of there after a rocky 3 innings. And he will not get a loss or a win tonight, so his record will stay at 7-0. Pitch misses inside. One-zero pitch to Cameron Cox. See some personal fireworks every now and then over our left center field fence. First base back. Whoa, second base rather. Just missed. That's a timing play, and it's generally called by the catcher. Pitcher looks in the entire time, and both start counting. And then the pitcher suddenly whirls and goes to second base. Look back at second, nothing happening there. Pitch is swung on and fouled at the plate. Rolls back out to the pitcher, Blake Oliver. And the count is even at 1-1. Got a couple of outs here, but 3 in, so we're all tied up at 3-3. Hopefully with the large crowd here tonight, they'll begin to realize that the Saguaros are here and begin to show up on a Thursday through Saturday basis. 1-1 count. Swung on and pounded at the plate. The pitcher, Blake Oliver, over, tosses it underhand and gets out of the inning. But 3 runs and it's all tied up. So we'll have a new pitcher coming in here for Tucson, and we'll try to pick up a number as he heads in. Historically, it's been Aaron Smith, but I don't believe that this is Aaron Smith. So coming to pitch for the Saguaros is number 17, Daniel Diaz, the rookie out of San Bernardino, left-hander, 25 years old. Thought I had the Saguaros roster up here. I guess I don't.
Now pitching for Tucson, number 17, Daniel Diaz. Make sure you head over to the novelty shop on the first base complex and check out the souvenirs, and you
So Daniel Diaz will pick up the action here in the top of the fifth inning. Diaz is 3-2 on the year with a 4.78 earned run average and a whip of only 1 in 32 innings of pitching. So we'll see the bottom of the order, 8, 9, and then 1. Blake Oliver, the pitcher, will remain in there, and he is up to bat. He got a sacrifice RBI fly in the second inning. First pitch from Diaz misses outside for a ball. Then Oliver walked in the third inning. That may have been the reason that he had trouble in the top of the fourth or in the bottom of the fourth inning, because a lot of times if your pitcher is out on the base paths, called strike, and out there for a long time, they have trouble getting back into the pitching groove, and that's why when the College World Series was going and they had Dahlback as a pitcher, they did not have him in the lineup as a hitter. Swung on and fouled to the left side, 1-2. Oliver would be followed by Balkin, who has walked twice, and Morita, who's got a base hit and 3 times at bat. So a brand new ball game here in the top of the fifth inning, 3-3, as the Saguaros plated 3 in the bottom of the fourth. Roswell Invaders got their 3, swung on and lifted, short second base. And coming in to get it is Michael Rampone, so a pop up to the second baseman for the first out of the top of the fifth. Roswell got their 3 runs in the second inning when Borkowski was just struggling all over the place. He limped through 4 innings, gave up those 3 runs, 3 strikeouts, but he had 6 walks. And during that span of time, he gave up 6 hits. So Daniel Diaz will try to pick him up here in the top of the fifth inning. First pitch to Brett Balkin is outside. Balkin has walked twice, scored once, walked on 4 consecutive pitches in the second inning. That kind of gives you an idea how Borkowski was going tonight. Swung on and hit right at Michael Morris. Well, I'll tell you what, sometimes when a ball comes off a bat and is directly at you, it is a little unnerving. And every now and then when a ball comes off of a batter's bat like that, sometimes it comes out at you as a knuckleball, and that is doubly exciting. Rene Morita up there, 1 for 3, struck out looking in the first inning, takes the first pitch, a called strike. Got a base hit in that productive third inning for Roswell, and then flew out to Burnell Daly in center field in the third inning. Looks at the second pitch as a called strike on the outside corner. So Morita is 0-2, and Daniel Diaz out for his first inning of work. Swung on and fouled the left side. Let's make that the other left, the right side. Boy, I cannot say enough for the folks at Pima County and all of the fine work that they've done here in publicizing this game, and they've got a lot of personnel out here working very hard. Swung on and hit to right center, going to drop down there for a base hit. So that's the second base hit that Morita has gotten. And that will bring up Rochelle Woodard. Woodard walked his first 2 times at bat. As a matter of fact, the walk in the second inning was an RBI walk. Then he struck out in the fourth inning. It was one of only 3 strikeouts turned in by Borkowski, who normally has a lot more than that. Couple of outs, a runner on first base. Changeup down low, swung on and missed. Rene Morita, a little bit of a threat to go. He's taken off 3 times, been successful twice. But, of course, what negates that to a certain extent is the fact that Diaz is a left-hander. Next pitch misses inside and low, 1-1. On-deck hitter is Cody Bishop. You'd prefer to get out of the inning without him up there. Changeup misses high, 2-1. Bishop is the leading hitter in the Pecos League. Has put the bat on the ball all 3 times that he's been up, but is only 1 for 3. Swung on and hit foul on the left side. 2-2. It's not that Morita doesn't have good speed, it's just that he doesn't choose to take off. Rene Woodard, on the other hand, you don't want to have him by himself on there. Base hit to right field, and they will hold Morita up at second base, but this is not a good situation for the Saguaros as the league leading hitter is stepping up there. Cody Bishop, third hitter in the lineup, 60 RBI on the season, and the ugly number as far as the Saguaros are concerned is 16 home runs, 17 doubles, and 2 triples. So with 2 outs, a double might score 2. As Bishop steps in there left-handed against the left-handed hitting. This one swung on and hit out towards the shortstop Morris at second base position as they had the shift on. And so a 6-3 out will get Diaz out of the inning with a runner in scoring position. So at the end of 4.5 innings of play, it is Roswell and Tucson tied up at 3-3. Two hits in the inning, so it's 8 total on the board for Roswell. 3-8-0, 3-4-0 for the Saguaros as they bunched all their business in 1 inning. That being the bottom of the 4th inning as we're going to the bottom of the 5th now. All tied up at 3-3. Blake Oliver out there again. Well, they just announced some All-Stars that will be coming up here for the Tucson Saguaros. Michael Morris, Adam Urbania, Ryan Retz, Jesse Baker, Steve Borkowski, and there was another name that I missed there. I apologize on that. Borkowski, based on his 7-0 record, certainly not on his performance tonight, but everybody has an off night. And he had his, but fortunately he's been taken off the hook as the score is tied 3-3 as we are into the bottom of the 5th inning with the Saguaros sending up Burnell Daly, the center fielder, then to the top of the order, All-Star Michael Morris and Michael Rampone. Daly struck out in the 3rd inning, but both Morris and Rampone got base hits in the 3-run producing 4th inning that has it all tied up at 3-3. Oliver to the plate, swung on and missed. Thursday night, Daly had an outstanding night, going 3 for 4. Second one swung on and missed, and the center fielder for the Tucson Saguaros finds himself in a hole 0-2. Blake Oliver, the starter, he's gone all the way. Gave up 3 runs in that 4th inning. 0-2, misses up high, 1-2. Blake a little bit less than halfway to his 7.4 earned run average. This one misses outside. 2-2. Oliver wasn't particularly pleased with the call. Took a walk around behind home plate. Admittedly, you see a lot of this stuff, so it doesn't need to be announced necessarily. Swung on and hit slowly down to Webb at third. Webb doesn't set his feet but gets the ball over to first base in time, and that will be the first out of this, the bottom of the 5th inning. Because we only have one camera here, and I know that some people are basically listening to the game rather than watching it necessarily, there's kind of an extra amount of narrative here that if it was a straight television game we would not be into. So we're trying to split the difference here. Top of the order, Michael Morris got a double in the 4th inning. Moved around to third base on Michael Rampone's base hit. And then came down to score when Ryan Retz got a double down the line in right field. First pitch is a called strike. Even though Blake Oliver has had a very rough time on getting that first pitch strike in, he's gotten the first pitch strike in each time Michael Morris has been up to bat. This one misses high. 1-1. Bobby Webb on the left-handed hitting Morris is in near the grass. First baseman Gasper is back off the bag. Everybody else is pretty much straight away. Swung on and hit into the screen on the left side. 1 ball and 2 strikes. One, two, nobody on. First batter in the 5th inning. Check that second batter, 1 out. Ball misses outside, and it's 2-2. Swung on and missed. Gets away from the catcher. Apparently he said that he caught it, didn't need to get it down to first base. Well, no, I take that back because the other side indicated safe, so he did need to get it to first base. Anyway, it's a strikeout for the second out. That's only the second strikeout achieved by Blake Oliver. And we are in the bottom of the 5th inning. This is the 38th batter that'll be finishing or looking at here. Curveball kind of buckled Rampone's knees, called strike. Rampone got a base hit in the 4th inning. Came around to score on the base hit by Retz. Laced into left field for a base hit. So a 2-out base runner in the form of Michael Rampone. Michael Rampone has stolen 6 out of 8. So has only been caught stealing once, or twice rather. Now it's kind of interesting that the infield is swinging around for Romania. However, he has hit to that side, but we've also seen him with power to left field. Throw to first, not in time. The left fielder, Morita, is back deep on the left side. Straight away, same for Bishop, and Woodard is several steps back. 2 outs, so it might be a time for Rampone to get on his horse against a right-hander. Takes a little bit of a leadoff, a little closer play this time. Urbania laced a line drive on one hop down the right field side, and the first baseman Gasberg made an absolutely spectacular play on it. Stepped on the bag at first and then threw to second, but they did not get the runner at second. Did absolutely the right thing because the dive for the baseball took him right to the bag, so you certainly don't want to go the long way around if you're right in the neighborhood. Rampone with not much of a lead, but looks coiled and ready to go. Does not go, pitches inside for a ball. Get a taste of consumer fireworks every now and then over the left center and left field wall. Swung on and hit out towards Johnson. At the grass, gets it to first base in time, and that will be the third out of the inning, 4-3. In this series, Christian Johnson has certainly shown a great ability at second base as he ranged far to his right, got that ball, even though it was slowly hit, and got it back over to first base in time for the out. So we're still knotted after 5 full innings of play at 3-3. So the 22-year-old Daniel Diaz will come out for his second inning of work. He took over in the 5th inning, gave up a couple of hits, but got out of the inning without surrendering any runs, and he'll look at 4, 5, and 6 in the lineup. Gasper, Webb, and Kaufman. Gasper 1 for 3. Got a base hit in the 4th inning, struck out in the 2nd, and flew out in the 1st inning to left field. First pitch swinging. Geisel, one hop, gets it over to first, and just like that, we have a 5-3 first out of the top of the 6th inning. Bobby Webb steps in there. He is 0 for 2. He walked in the 4th inning. Came into the ball game batting .372, but that 0 for 2 will drop him down just a bit. First pitch misses for a ball. Second pitch also misses. This one down into the dirt, and it's 2-1. Let's make it 2-zip. Bobby Webb sure had himself a night on Thursday. 3-run homer, 1-run single. And that was a game that the Saguaros lost by a 9-3 count. Next pitch misses as a ball, and we go 3-0. Don't want to put that first guy on, as Daniel does, and we could hear him all the way up here go, ah. Cody Kaufman, the batter, and Kaufman is not the guy you want to have up here. He's on a hot streak here tonight. A double in the second and a single in the third. Came into the ball game batting .361, and that will go up a couple of ticks or two. Kaufman from the left side against the left-hander Diaz, who took over in the fifth inning. Swung on and hit foul on the right side for a strike. McKenna back a few steps in right field. Daly shaded just a bit to the left of second base. And Urbania is deep in left field. And the Saguaros have somebody working in their bullpen. Pitch catches that inside corner for a second strike. And now, just as I say that, whoever was warming up out there sat down. 1 on, 1 out, 0-2 to the hitter, the catcher Kaufman. Misses outside, 2-1. Bobby Webb, a little bit of a threat to go. Oh, looking on the wrong column. No threat after all. Next pitch swung on, lofted into the stands on the left side. Big hand for a fan down there that made a nice catch. One-two pitch. Change-up, fisted, gets out to the stands in relatively the same place. This time everybody dives away from it, and there's no hand for anybody out there. Fans can be cruel, you know. Somebody's keeping track of strikeouts over there in the stands, and not too many strikeouts to keep track of. The Saguaros have only gathered 3 on the game. Left field hit, base hit. Urbania gathers it up. And Roswell has something going here in the top of the 6th inning with a walk and a base hit. Daniel Diaz wriggled his way out of a situation. Last inning had runners on first and second, although be it there were 2 outs at the time. So stepping in is Christian Johnson. Johnson 1 for 3, as we will have a conference on the mound to see what's up and how to handle it. Sure appreciate you being there tonight on our webcast. We're here every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Would certainly enjoy having you here, as they're going to make a pitching change. Reminder that every Friday night at Kino Stadium, we're right here for exciting Tucson Saguaros action, Saguaros baseball, and dollar, yes, I said dollar hot dog night. That's right, just $1 a dog, and baseball too every Friday night. So we'll try to pick up who's coming in here. Another left-hander, and I believe that it is Aaron Smith. It is indeed. So we'll take a look and see what Aaron Smith has to offer tonight. He has frequently been the long reliever. 1 win and 3 losses on the season, a 4.69 earned run average. Aaron has been in 20 games, started only one of those games. Has pitched 30 and 2/3 inning, has given up 16 earned runs, and has a whip of 1.3. So Daniel Diaz flirted with danger in the 5th inning, and now flirting with even more of it in the 6th. And he will take a seat and allow Aaron Smith to try to do the business here. In all candor, Aaron has been inconsistent. We've seen him come out and mow him down, and then there have been other times that he has struggled all over the place. So we have 1 out, runners at first and second. Bobby Webb, not particularly good speed at second base, and Kaufman with even less at first base. Christian Johnson, the batter. So we'll see how Roswell decides to play it. Tanner Geisel way back at third base. Holding the runner at first is Ryan Retz. The middle infielders, Morris and Rampone, at double play depth. So I guess they're not expecting a bunt. This one hit sharply down to Geisel. Geisel steps on third, goes to first, and that's it. Well, just like that, 1 pitch. Aaron Smith is a hero. As Tanner Geisel stepped on the bag at third base and got Bobby Webb for the 2nd out. So without regard to the fact that there were runners on first and second, Roswell unable to bring anybody across, and after 5.5 innings of play, it is Roswell 3, Tucson 3. 1 hit in the inning, and that is 9 so far for the Invaders. And we will go to the home half of the 6th inning, all knotted up at 3-3. Ryan Retz, the 4th hitter, Jesse Baker, the 5th hitter, and Tanner Geisel, the 6th hitter, will be up there. And we'll see if Blake Oliver comes out here again. And it is, in fact, Mr. Oliver. His only rough inning has been the 4th. The rest of the time he has done exceptionally well, despite the fact that he has a 7.41 earned run average coming into the game tonight. Through 5 innings of play, Oliver has only thrown 68 pitches and only given up 5 hits. Unfortunately for him, they were wrapped around a couple of doubles and a couple of singles, a walk and a fielder's choice in the 4th inning, and that wound up getting 3 across for Tucson. So that's where we stand at 3-3 with Ryan Retz up there. He got an RBI double just inside the foul line in right field in the 4th inning, and then popped up to the catcher Kaufman in the 2nd inning. Reds came into the ball game batting .327. Hit him. So the leadoff runner here in the 6th inning is on base, and Jesse Baker will step in. Jesse rode one to the warning track in left field for an out in the 2nd inning, got a base hit in the 4th inning. He came into the game batting .400, so at 1 for 2, he'll take another tick upward. Remember back in the day when Ted Williams was flirting with .400 in the last game of the season and refused to be benched, promptly went up there and went 2 for 4, and is the last batter in Major League history to bat over .400, first pitch outside corner for a strike. Teddy Baseball grew up in San Diego, California, my hometown. Played for one of our arch rivals, Hoover High School. 0-1. Lifted high to right field and short, but Woodard is over there to get it. And it's a pop fly out to right field. There were thousands of reporters in numerous daily newspapers in Boston and New York back in the day. And Ted Williams got an absolutely atrocious reputation with the press because he was misquoted early in his career, and each of those writers was looking for some way to sell their newspaper. And Mr. Williams, and I do mean that in the greatest of respect, got a bad reputation there and unjustified. Worked with him on several occasions in San Diego. Throw to first, doesn't get him. Worked on a wild animal special where we went out to the wild animal park, now known as the Safari Park in San Diego out in the county. And he was just a gracious gentleman beyond all belief. And the other time that I worked with him, swung on, hit towards Johnson. Johnson to short. Over to first, and it's a 4-6-3 double play, and that's the end of the inning. We'll finish the story here in a second. So 3 up, hit the first batter, but that double play is the magical pitcher's friend. And so after 5.5 innings after 6 full innings of play, we're still knotted at 3-3. 4 pitches thrown in the inning for Blake Oliver. That certainly is an arm saver. No hits. He's given up 5 through 6 innings of play, but he's given up 3 runs along the way as they will drag the infield. So we go to the top of the 7th inning as double plays ended both halves of the inning here for Roswell and Tucson. Blake Oliver's spot is coming up, and he is not in the on-deck circle. So it looks like we will have a pinch hitter for the invaders from Tucson. Invaders into Tucson. Swinging a bat is the catcher from the other night, Jim Smith, number 31. Bats .364 on the year, so we'll have a new pitcher for the next inning. Aaron Smith, after having a very, very laborious 6th inning when he came in and threw 1 pitch and got a double play to get out of the inning.
For Oliver, leading off the 7th for Roswell, number 31, Jim Smith.
Jim Smith will be pinch hitting here in the top of the 7th inning. We'll finish up our Ted Williams story in a second. Smith taking his time to get into the batter's box. At the set for Smith. Misses low. Anyway, there is a museum in San Diego called the Hall of Champions, in which they honor people that were outstanding athletes in all fields. And, of course, Ted Williams being one of them. Changeup swung on and missed for a strike, 1-1. Anyway, we were hired as a video production company to tape a one-on-one discussion between Ted Williams and Tony Gwynn on hitting. I want to tell you, that was one of the most fascinating 2 hours that I ever spent. In fact, a couple of times, pitches outside, I was manning the camera and got so enthralled in what they were saying that I almost lost the camera out of frame. It wasn't real obvious, but I knew that I'd messed up. But that was 1 2-hour period of my lifetime that will register high on the fantastic moments. Pitch outside, 3-1. Boy, they went into aspects of hitting that you just wouldn't even think of. And Tony Gwynn, fine gentleman, unfortunately passed away with jaw cancer after chewing tobacco all of his baseball career. 3-1 pitch, strike 2, 3-2. And, of course, Ted Williams long gone. Always kind of been a Boston Red Sox fan because of that over the years. They have a Ted Williams Parkway named for him in San Diego, even though he was associated with Boston, but he did grow up in San Diego. Batted ball out to Morris to his right. Throw to first. First out of the inning. That'll bring up Brett Balkin, the shortstop. He walked a couple of times and then just ripped a line drive, but unfortunately for Balkin, it was right at Michael Morris. And fortunately for Morris, it was not one of those knuckleballs that happen every now and then. You see it in volleyball from time to time when a server hits that ball and it does not rotate, and boy, it gives the players on the other side a horrible time. Anyway, the out was recorded in the 5th inning. First pitch, a slow curve, just catches that outside corner for strike 1. Rene Morita is in the on-deck circle. He is 2 for 4. We're all tied up here in the 6th inning. Swung on and missed on a pitch way outside. Of course, the pitch previous to that started out there and broke to the corner, and that's why I'm sure Balkin recognized it, thinking it might break to the corner once again, but it stayed outside. Aaron Smith comes sidearm and 3/4 from time to time. Throws that side armor. It's not quite a submarine pitch, but he'll throw from the side. Just barely gets the final molecule on the end of the bat on that one. And the count will stay 0-2. Classic story about a tie baseball game out of Atlanta when Ted Turner owned the team. It was on a 4th of July. And the game just went on and on and on. One team scoring 3 runs in the top of the inning and the other team scoring 3 in the bottom. Called strike 3. Balkin made a great effort there to try to have that ball graze his arm, but it did not work out as Holloway rang him up on the inside corner. Apparently the home plate umpire is getting a little chippiness out of the Roswell dugout. Took a long look over there to see who might be barking at him. Game Saturday night, close play at the plate, and that wound up being a ejection for the manager over in Roswell. check swing, no swing, ball one. This is the left fielder, Rene Morito. Morito is 2 for 4. Base hits in the second and the fifth. First inning looked at a called third strike. Big swing there, misses. Anyway, the game kept going on and on and on. They ran out of pitchers, so they left a pitcher in the ball game that was not a hitter for Atlanta. Down low, 2-1. And lo and behold, he hit a 3-run home run to tie it up, and it went another several innings. Long story short, the game didn't get over with until about 1 o'clock in the morning. Strike two. And Ted Turner, the owner, said, fire them up, and they shot the fireworks off at 1 o'clock in the morning. A little bit of hate and discontent going on there, I'm sure. Misses outside and will go full. Well, the fireworks stands that were around the area certainly were busy, and we're seeing a sampling of it over the center field wall. Hit foul down the right side. That one almost looks like it's a fireworks show for somebody out there. I know at 9:15 they were supposed to fire off a mountain, and off in the distance behind center field is what looks like a fireworks show. It's not something where there's an occasional piece of fireworks coming up. So we're being treated for that. Strikeout. 3 up, 3 down in the seventh inning. We'll go to the bottom of the seventh. All tied up at 3-3. Well, there were a ton of kids that did not get to run the bases, and so they're giving them another opportunity to come out here. I suspect that there are a couple of repeat performers, but as we mentioned before, they don't have a Sunday game here, and that's traditionally the time that bases are run. And I tell you what, these players are very, very congenial towards the young kids, and been in that dugout a number of times, getting lineups and things like that, and a very, very nice group of young men playing for the Tucson Saguaros. This looks like a lot more than missed last time out, but at least the PA announcer is staying out of it this time, and kids are pouring out from everywhere. There've got to be, I'm guessing, in the neighborhood of 7,000 or 8,000 people here tonight, as Pima County, that put this on, has done an absolutely spectacular job. And we see the owner of the Tucson Saguaros down there with his hand on top of his head going, wait a minute, wait a minute. They are lined, as you might see on our camera position, from halfway up the first baseline to halfway out in right field. And this is going to be a monster move here. I hope nobody gets trampled or hurt here. Here we go. And in particular, our mascot, Sticky, And he's getting overtaken there. Oh, my goodness. Players are helping out. Daniel Diaz down there pitched some of this game, is directing traffic. Nice young man. Some of the kids thinking that they can go home, to home plate that is, and some little girl is out behind first base. I think she got bumped and tears are coming down. She's slowly walking over to the right field foul line. I hope somebody notices her down there. Now there's a log jam getting off the field down the third base line. Another casualty down there. Dad goes over and picks him up. My goodness, she can't be 2 feet tall. Little sister's over to help her out, or big sister rather. Gentleman has gone out. One of his boys got lost in the center infield. And Dad went out and got him. Now we got a couple of sneakers, one running out to third base there, and now being corralled and headed back to the stands. Oh, what the heck, it's a baseball game. Fans having a great time tonight. We've seen lineup at the concession stand has been there almost constantly all night long. They've got dollar hot dogs and half price. The umpire Couture has opened up another gate and is directing people to that section there. Ah, the minor leagues, you got to love them. I always laugh in the movie The Rookie when he comes in and first time in the minor leagues and trips over the car races that are going around. And then when he gets to the mound, the manager says, work fast, we got a long bus trip. Boy, you talk about long bus trips. In this independent Pecos League, you got a bus trip from West Texas all the way over here. And then Trinidad, Colorado is in the southern part of Colorado, admittedly, but that's still a 7-hour bus ride. Goodness gracious sakes alive, I remember my days in the bus leagues. Okay, back to business here. Kyle Perez out to pitch for the Invaders. Kyle scrapes his knuckles on the mound with each pitch, gets the first one and misses it outside to Thomas McKenna. McKenna walked in the fourth inning and then grounded to first base to the pitcher covering in the third. This one misses inside, and we go 2-0. Webb at third, Balkan at short. Johnson at second, Gasper at first. And Kyle Perez misses outside. No, by golly, was a strike. 3-3 tie. We're in the bottom of the seventh inning. Bottom of the order for the Saguaros, 7, 8, and 9. Pitch misses high, 3-1. Pitcher spot is next up. Looks like Lyons will be pinch hitting. And the strike is on that outside corner. McKenna thought it was a ball and headed to first base, but will go at 3-2. Swung on and lifted over the head of the first baseman. It's going to drop into right field. McKenna takes a big turn at first base, and the Saguaros have the leadoff hitter on here in the bottom of the seventh inning. And Tommy Lyons will be the hitter. Tommy, struggling with the bat, has had a lot of pinch hitting appearances, which is a tough, tough role. He's only batting 182. 33 at-bats, have netted only 6 hits here, as they'll have a conference on the mound for the Invaders as some balloons get away. Here they are, upper right-hand corner of our shot. Why not? Well, at least we haven't had any beach balls. Another balloon gets away. Well, that looks more like a ball there. Or maybe even a beach ball. See, I spoke too soon. Daniel Diaz went down there and took care of it. So the bottom of the 7th inning. Tommy Lyons up there. Bobby Webb is in on the grass at third base expecting a bunt. Lyons has not struck me as the bunting type, but we'll see what happens here. The submarine pitcher Kyle Perez taking over at the top of this inning. Throws the first pitch to Tommy Lyons outside for a ball. Thomas McKenna has stolen 15 out of 20 tries, so keep an eye on him at first base. He doesn't go. Pitch misses outside, and it's 2-0. This might be a pitch to hit and run, although we don't see many signs coming out of the third base coaching box. Two balls and no strikes, no movement. Hit right up the middle, but it's right at Balkin. Steps on the bag at second, and the pitcher's friend, a double play, unassisted to 6-3, and that clears the bases and puts 2 outs on the board. Well, it's always a good sign when you get the first runner on, but that ball could not have been hit in a worse spot, as Balkin was shaded over towards the bag at second base because Lyons was the left-handed hitter, and Lyons put it right on his glove. He took 2 steps, stepped on the bag, and threw to first for the double play as Burnell Daly steps in. Daly, slow roller to Johnson. Johnson picks it up, and despite the fleet-footed Daly, still gets it over to first base. And that, without regard to the first hitter being on, is a 3-up, 3-down inning for the Tucson Saguaros. So in the bottom of the 8th, they'll bring up the top of the order. And I hate to say it, but I really, really, really don't want extra innings tonight. We have a huge crowd here, and it would be a disappointment to have this thing go into extra innings. So we're going to have the Saguaros get busy to pick up a victory for them here. Yeah. Concession stands busy tonight. What is that that Parisian book called The Red Balloon, where they follow a red balloon all around Paris? There it is for you. Well, a good part of the order coming up for Roswell, New Mexico Invaders is LC 2, 3, and 4. Rochelle Woodard, Cody Bishop, and Kyoyu Gasper. And they have accounted for several hits among them. Also a couple of walks. New pitcher for the Saguaros. Just got him day before yesterday, as a matter of fact, or actually before the road trip. This is Brandon Cook. So the fourth pitcher will be out there for the Saguaros. Cook is 1-0. He was the pitcher of record when the Saguaros got busy on Saturday evening. Only pitched 2 innings, but has a pretty live fastball. Shane Woodard up there, he's got a couple of walks. One of the walks resulted in an RBI back in the second inning when Steve Borkowski, the starting pitcher, was having a terrible time. Cook to the plate, misses outside the big overhand fastball. Woodard struck out in the fourth. That was also against Borkowski, one of only 3 strikeouts that he recorded. Next one misses inside. Don't want to put the leadoff guy on base. And in particular, don't want to put Woodard on base. Two-0 pitch on the way. Swung on, hit right back through the middle. Nice job by Michael Rampone. Goes to throw the ball, and it slips out of his hand, and the runner is safe. And immediately the scorekeeper puts up a hit. There would have been some question whether Rampone could have gotten the fleet-footed Woodard. Woodard has stolen 13 bases, has not been caught once. So we'll keep an eye on him with the league's leading hitter, Cody Bishop, up there. Bishop came into the ball game batting .431, but he has gone 1 for 4 so far. But the kind of scary thing about Cody Bishop is he's got a ton of home runs. 16, as a matter of fact. So we'll watch Woodard at first base. He gets a grand secondary lead. That's what they call it as the pitch goes. The runner at least moves towards the next base. So this is the primary lead that you see right now going, and he got that stolen off of the pitcher. Cook never looked back at him. Pitch was a ball, so 2-0 for the second batter in a row, as the stolen base can be laid right at the feet of Brandon Cook. You have got to look that runner back. So with a runner in scoring position, Cody Bishop, league leader from the left side against the right-hander Cook. On the corner, called strike. 2-1. Top of the 8th inning, we are all tied up at 3-3. This time, Cook looks back to second. Changeup, lifted short left field. I don't think Urbanio will be able to get there, and they hold the runner at third. So runners at first and third now with 2 consecutive base hits. And Brandon Cook in a world of hurt here. Baker will go out and visit with him for a second. Some signs coming down from the third base coach's box. Cody Bishop, not a great threat to steal. He's got 5, has not been caught once. So the conference is broken up. Looks like the Saguaros are going to bring in the infield and play up tight. We've mentioned several times over the year that whenever that infield comes in, it raises the batting average of the batter about 40 points, and that's not what you need with Gasper. Nice job by Baker blocking a ball that was in the dirt and outside. So 1-0. Runners on first and third, nobody out in a tie game. Drag bunt, runner will score. out at first. So that moves Cody Bishop down to second base. Sacrifice and an RBI for Gasper. And Roswell goes into the lead 4-3. Bobby Webb, who cranked out a 3-run home run on Thursday evening, is up there with first base open. First pitch to him is a called strike. 1 out so far, 1 run in. Pitch misses outside. 1-1. Look back at second base. Pitch to the plate, swung on. Geisel gathers it up, throws to first base, doesn't get him. Geisel went hard to his left, got the ball, did not get it cleanly. So Webb has a base hit. Coming around to second base will be Cody Bishop. First and third, 1 out. Would be a lovely time for the Saguaros to turn a double play. And that brings up Cody Kaufman. Cody has had an outstanding night tonight. A double in the second, base hits in both the third and the sixth, and was intentionally passed in the fourth inning as we have a blue balloon. And I suspect it will stay up there. Oh, the umpire jumped up and got it. There you go, an ESPN Top 10. Couture is not one of the most giant people on the earth. And when I jumped, I didn't see the string hanging down there. And I thought, uh-oh, he's going to embarrass himself. But he did get the string and got it. First pitch down low for a ball to Kaufman, the catcher tonight. So Couture got a big round of applause. Had a lot of balloons and bunting around for the 4th of July. Once again, kudos to Pima County and the operators. Next pitch misses low. The operators of the Kino Sports Complex, as they have done an outstanding job tonight putting this thing together. Got lots of help here. I was afraid when I saw the number of people around that they'd go slow on the help. Pitch in the dirt. And so 1 pitch away is Brandon Cook from loading him up here. 1 run is already in here in the top of the 8th inning, 4-3 in favor of Roswell, New Mexico. (3-1) down low. That'll load him. So Webb to second on the walk to Cody Kaufman. Cody Bishop, of course, will hang loose at third base, and we'll have a conference coming to the mound here. Warming up out in the bullpen for the Tucson Saguaros is Tyler Herr. Was with the Joplin Blasters last season. Out of Houston, Texas is Mr. Herr. Has not had a lot of work. Does have 1 victory, but has only thrown 15 in a third innings. So in at the corners, actually Geisel is a little bit back as they are playing for the double play here. Christian Johnson up there, he hit into a double play in the 6th inning. First pitch is high, as Cook has had a terrible time getting a first pitch strike in. This is his 6th batter that he's faced, and on 5 occasions he has missed that first pitch strike. 1-0 pitch. outside corner for a called strike. Swung on and fouled into the screen in the back of the home plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Christian Johnson came into the game batting .319. He's got 4 home runs and 15 doubles. Way outside, and I think that the Saguaros got the benefit of the doubt there. Second out, but still the base is loaded, and that will bring up the pitcher's spot. And coming in to pinch hit, Bryce Skelton. Earlier in the ball game, family checked in from Wisconsin, so hope they're still with us. Bryce Skelton comes into the game with an opportunity to rip it wide open. 2 outs, that means the runners with the crack of the bat will be on the way. Pitch inside corner for a ball. One ball, no strikes to Bryce Skelton. Changeup outside corner for a called strike. And the Roswell bench is a little upset about some of the calls that we've gotten here from plate umpire Sean Woodard. But it's still 1-1. Next pitch misses just outside. And the umpires in the crowd thought that should have been a called strike. 2-1. Bryce steps in batting .261 on the year. He's got 4 doubles. This one misses low. And 3-1 is the count. Better take care of him on this pitch in some way, shape, or form, because if they go 3-2, the runners will be off and running, and if Bryce gets it into the outfield, it'll be a problem. Swung on for strike 2. And we have the 3-2 count and all the runners moving. So if Bryce should happen to get a double, as he has gotten 4 times in the past, this could clear the bases. Runners going down the line, right field. There's your double. That'll clear him. As Bryce goes into second base with a stand-up double, and 3 runs come in. Worst time on the planet for a base hit for a pitcher. Best time on the planet for a base hit for the batter. And that was Bryce Skelton getting in there. A 3-run double as number 10 brought around Cody Bishop, Bob Webb, and Cody Kaufman. And all of a sudden, it's a 7-3 game. And the Tucson Saguaros are on the short end of it with Brett Balkin stepping in. Takes the first pitch ball. He's walked twice, struck out once, and lined to the shortstop. As Cook comes set, looks back to second. Pitch is swung on and missed. 1-1. Well, a huge hill for the Tucson Saguaros to climb as they cough up 4 runs in the top of the 8th inning. As runs have come in bunches for Roswell, 4 in the top of the 8th and 3 in the top of the 2nd inning. Pitch in the dirt. Jesse Baker does a nice job of keeping the ball out in front of him. A win tonight will put the Invaders only a game and a half out of first place behind Tucson. And that will mean that Roswell has gotten 2 games up in the series that the two have played. This one gets away, and the runner will go around to third on the wild pitch. So Cook, who looked sparkling the other night, has suffered tonight. Gave up a 3-run double and just wild pitched the runner, Skelton, over to third base. Pitch on the knees for a called strike. 2-2. 2 outs here in the top of the 8th inning with 4 in. Well, the lineups at the concession stands have certainly not gone down tonight. Pitch swung on, hit to center field, a diving attempt by Michael Rampone, and the ball goes into center, and that will be the 5th run of the inning. An RBI single for Brett Balkin as the hit parade continues, and we'll go to the 9th hitter of the inning, and that'll be Rene Morita. Nobody is up in the bullpen. Well, yes, there is, and here he comes. So we'll try to pick up who this is. For whom the bell tolls, I believe it tolls for Brandon Cook. Hot one day and cold as ice the second. As Cook goes off, and he will be the potential losing pitcher in this one unless Tucson can go crazy. This has got to be Tyler Herr. He's about 12 feet 9, so that ball is going to be released pretty close to home plate. So the game has gotten away from the Tucson Saguaros. Probably shouldn't have mentioned my concern about the San Diego Padres in the years over there, where it seemed like every time you went to a game that there was a huge crowd. The Padres looked terrible. And up until right now, Tucson has not looked terrible. But a leadoff base hit, actually 2 of them. A run-scoring sacrifice, a base hit, a walk, and then a run or a bases-clearing double by Bryce Skelton. And that has broken it wide open. 5 runs in the top of the 8th inning, and it ain't over. Maybe I should have shut my mouth about not wanting extra innings. Of course, everything I say has some effect on the game, right? Uh-huh. Right. Morita has a couple of hits on the night, a couple of strikeouts, and in between all that, he flew out to Pernell Daly in center field from the left side. And only a runner on first in the form of Brett Balkin. First pitch is a strike. Misses outside with a screaming fastball. 1-1. Herr comes straight over the top. Misses high on that one, and it's going to go 2-1. Curveball drops in there, 2-2. Boy, you mix that curveball in with that blistering fastball, this guy might be a handful. He just joined the club, so we don't know that much about him. Throws that breaking pitch once again, takes a long, hard look in at home plate umpire Sean Holloway. But it does not matter. It goes 3-2, so that means that Balkin at first base will be off and running. This one swung on and hit into short center field. Coming on strong is Burnell Daly, and out to try to get it is Morris, and unable to take it over his shoulder as a seeing eye base hit will bring up the 10th batter of the inning. That will be Roche Woodard. Roche Woodard got a base hit to start off the inning. Stole second. Went around to third base on a base hit by Cody Bishop and came home when Gasper sacrificed. Was a delayed squeeze, basically. First pitch by her to Woodard is a called strike. At the set, check at first, comes to the plate, low. Baker blocks it. 1 ball and 1 strike. Despite the fact that we're going to have fireworks after the game, the crowd thinning just a little bit. Overhand curveball misses. 3-2. Runner from first goes. Pitch is swung on and missed. 2-2. So Morita gets down to second base. Now 2 runners in scoring position. Two count. Her on the mound. He's the 5th pitcher used by the Saguaros. Swung on and hit slowly towards her, and he will underhand it to first base, and mercifully the inning is over, but not before 5 runs come in. Don't understand why anybody needs to scream into a microphone. That's why they call it an amplifier. Oh well. 6 hits in that inning given up by the Saguaros, so 15 on the game. And 5 for 8. It's 8-3 after 7.5 innings of play. So the Saguaros only have the bottom of the 8th and bottom of the 9th to be able to do something here. Coming up on the mound for the Roswell Invaders.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, those of you who participated in the 50-50 raffle, pull on yourselves. We're about to give away $235.
Out on the mound, taking over for Kyle Perez, is number 38, and that is T.J. Pranita. Pranita handcuffed the Saguaros in that game on Thursday evening. And the left-hander is back out there, has one of the more unique windups and deliveries. If he goes to that full windup, he stares up into the sky before he comes to the plate. At least for the Saguaros, with their opportunity, they'll bring up Michael Morris, the top of the order. Michael Rampone and Adam Urbania. Both Morris and Rampone have base hits. Urbania has an RBI on an unassisted put out at first base, and that was one of the more spectacular plays that we've seen this season as K.O.U. Gasper got to his left. Ball hit right back at Perdita. Throw it first, not in time. Hope the young man is not hurt, because it got to him pretty darn quick. First pitch swinging was Michael Morris, and that'll bring up Michael Rampone. Rampone has gotten a couple of base hits as they go out and check on T.J. Perdita. And I think they'll take him out. As he gave the umpire a tap on his backside as he went by. So they had somebody warming out there. I don't know if he was in there for just one batter. Seems very unlikely. But he took one. And it looks like either 21 or 27. We'll have to take a check here. I'm going to say 21. And that is Ryan Ward. Second year in the league, he was with the Las Vegas Train Robbers. And of course, the Train Robbers moved over to Salina, Kansas. Ryan is from Front Royal, Virginia. Interesting name for a town. Ryan Ward on the season is 2-1 with a 7.5 earned run average, 1.4 whip. That would be walks and base runners, hits and walks per inning pitched. So Perdita with a 6.5 earned run average was in there for one batter. And now we'll go with Ward. Been 24 innings. Actually been in 11 games and started 3 of them. Given up 20 earned runs in his 24 innings of work. So that's why the rather elevated earned run average. Big hill to climb for the Saguaros. But they've started it out in the right manner with a base hit for Michael Morris and Michael Rampone stepping in there. The second baseman is 2 for 3. Got a base hit and came around to score on a base hit by actually a double by Ryan Retz. That was in the 4th inning. In the 5th inning, got a base hit and didn't get any farther than first base. Coming up on 10 o'clock, big crowd here waiting for the after-game fireworks. But hopefully for baseball fans, they'll see some fireworks from the Saguaros here in the bottom of the 8th and the bottom of the 9th. Slow curve misses inside. Actually, an off-speed pitch is generally something that a relief pitcher ought to think about doing, because most batters expect that he's going to come in there and try to pour a first pitch fastball strike. Again, a slow outside pitch. Now, I don't know if this pitcher is someone who pitches slow, slower, and slowest, which I always hated to see. Two-0 pitch. Once again, a slow one. Can't tell whether that's a knuckleball or not. Try to take a closer look at it. I'm the only man in baseball history to ever strike out on one changeup. Swung at it 3 times. You can look it up. He does throw a knuckleball. That's exactly what it is. So a knuckleballer out there. Boy, don't see too many of those. So with a 5-run lead, the Roswell Invaders send out the invasion of the knuckleball. 3-1 pitch. Strike called. What was it, Bob Uecker, when he was asked about how he caught a knuckleball? He said he waited until it rolled and stopped and then walked over and picked it up. So far, Cody Kaufman has not had any trouble with it. But that's what's coming up every time, a knuckleball. Swung on, strikeout. So Rampone back to the dugout muttering. Don't know how many knuckleballs you see, but it's got to be very few. Adam Urbania is 0 for 3 on the night, although he does have a run batted in on a ground out to first base back in the 4th inning. I'm trying to think of the Major League ball players. There are a couple of them. Whitfield with Boston threw the knuckleball. And then there was one other, and can't for the life of me remember his name. Anyway, from the left side, runner going. Don't run on a knuckleball. Catcher Kaufman tried to throw from his knees and might as well run all day on a knuckleball. So a stolen base on a first pitch ball. And that will put a runner in scoring position, Michael Morris. Have to be extremely patient and have a quick bat with a knuckler. Base hit, not a base hit, but hit out towards Johnson. They'll get him at first base. Sounded like the bat might have even broken. Over to third base on the fielder's choice is Michael Morris. So Ryan Retz is up there, and Retz is a free swinger. And you would suspect that a free swinger has more than enough trouble with a knuckleball. You've got to get up in the box, and I haven't seen anybody do that yet. There's an argument among knuckleball pitchers as to whether you should ever throw a fastball. And apparently, Ryan Ward is of the opinion that you never throw a fastball because out of the pitches that he's thrown, we have yet to see anything other than the knuckleball. There are several different ways to throw it. Strike. Some pitchers dig their fingernails into it. Some pitchers just use the index and middle finger with the third and fourth finger wrapped around the ball and release it that way. Swung on and missed for strike 2. Not exactly sure how Mr. Ward chooses to throw it. And if you're not familiar in baseball with the knuckleball, it is thrown so that it does not rotate. So any puff of wind or change in barometric pressure from the time it leaves the pitcher's hand until it gets to the plate, the ball will dive to it. This one fouled off down the right side. Unfortunately, into the kiddie playland area. Looks like it fell short of that, so that's a good thing. We think that that's what happened to Adam Urbania in the second inning with a ball hit directly at him. However, I think more that it got up in the lights rather than it knuckled because it got out there pretty straight. This one hit into a right field, but back to get it is Woodard. And the long fly out ends the inning with nobody coming across for the Saguaros as they leave a man in scoring position. And they did have a terrible time with the knuckleballer Ryan Ward. Nice to see that the old art form, quite frankly, has not gone away completely. Eight to 3 our score. We're going into the top of the ninth inning. And let's see, Herr is back out there again to try to record a hold. Herr came in and gave up a base hit to Morita and then got Roche Woodard to hit back to the pitcher's box and recorded the third out of the inning. So the first batter here in the ninth inning will be Cody Bishop, followed by Gasper, the first baseman, and Bobby Webb will be up there. Bishop up there came into the game batting .431. His 2 for 5 will drop him down a little bit, but we'll see how he fares here. The shift is on. First pitch is a ball outside to Bishop. Tanner Geisel is playing about halfway between where the third baseman ordinarily would play and the shortstop. The shortstop Morris is over behind the bag, and the second baseman, Michael Rampone, is in short right field, and Getz, of course, at first base is back. Catcher just got nailed. The umpire just got nailed. Now he's got a bad knee, and I'm not sure whether he landed wrong on it when he came up or whether the ball hit him as it got through the catcher, Bishop. Well, I'll tell you what, I think he got it on the instep of his right foot. Bishop offered at the ball. It was fouled at the plate. That's how the umpire got nailed. Curveball called strike, 2-2. When we had that rain delay on Thursday, Holloway had to hustle down to third base, and in doing so, racked up his knee again. The pitch is way inside, and the count will go to 3-2. He hung in there until somebody could go out to his car and get an extra knee brace. So I'm glad to see that he has shaken this one off, even though it might be barking at him a little bit. 3-2, fouled hard into the left field side. Boy, you got to be aware as you're walking around anywhere in a ballpark. Kind of rattled people's cages as they walked around the mezzanine here. Crowd has thinned without regard to the fact that we have fireworks after this game. The ball lifted into left field. Back to get it is Geisel. So one out here in the top of the ninth inning, and that'll bring up Gasper. Gasper has one hit and 4 times at bat. He got a sacrifice delayed squeeze play down for a run in the 8th inning, an inning that Roswell pushed 5 of them across, and that's where we're at right now, 8-3. First pitch is a ball to Gasper. The Saguaros lost 9-3 on Thursday evening, came back and won on Saturday. Called strike on the outside corner. Then the two teams split the doubleheader in Bisbee, Arizona yesterday. 1-1 count. Swung on and missed. 1-2. Saguaros will go out of town for games on Tuesday and Wednesday. Then they're back here Thursday, Friday, and Saturday playing White Sands. Love to have you come down to the ballpark and watch this game. Swung on and missed. Strikeout for her. Second out of the inning, nobody on right now. In the top of the ninth inning, Bobby Webb is stepping in there. He got a base hit his last time up in the 5-run eighth inning. Walked a couple of times. Hits one into the stands behind home plate for a strike. Saguaros with a mountain to climb, and they will be looking at, I believe, the knuckleballer Ryan Ward, who held them in check in the bottom of the eighth inning. And it'll be Baker, Geisel, and McKenna middle to the bottom of the order coming up in the bottom of the ninth inning. Her with a fireball got it in there for a called strike at the knees, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. I would guess that Her is in the neighborhood of 6'5", 6'6". New addition to the roster here and haven't been able to get out the tape measure. One gets away from him. I love the movie The Rookie. Jimmy Morris sailed one just about that bad, one of his first outings. That one was halfway up the screen. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Curveball misses high, and it's 2-2. McKenna in right field left the field without anybody noticing, picked up a ball and tossed it back into the stands. Not sure where it came from originally. 2-2, nobody on, top of the ninth inning. Missed outside, 3-2. Second time in the inning here that Her has gone 3-2. He went 3-2 to the first batter he faced in the eighth inning. So he's thrown a lot of pitches here. 3-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. So we'll go to the bottom of the ninth inning. Last chance for the Saguaros as they are down by 5 runs. All 5 of those runs coming in the eighth inning as we had a 3-3 tie heading into the top of the eighth. So we'll see if Ryan Ward, the knuckleballer, comes out again.
After the final out, we'll have the Diamonds in the Sky celebration, sponsored by the Pecos League and the Tucson Saguaros, Pima County, Kino Stadium District, Kino Sports Complex, Pinnacle Concessions, KOZ, News 13, La Rosa, 103.5 FM, and New Image Custodial. Now pitching for Roswell, 45 Mike Shamanico.
Well, they do have a new pitcher in for the Roswell, New Mexico Invaders. Number 45, Mike Semenico. There we go. Well, I must say I'm disappointed. I kind of enjoyed, even though it was on the other team, watching Ryan Ward throw that knuckleball. You don't see that happen very often. Generally, the knuckleball is relegated to pitchers that are a little bit past their prime, as longtime baseball guys just don't have a lot of respect for it. But if you followed the 2004 Boston Red Sox and Wakefield, he certainly helped him out with that knuckleball. He was a starting pitcher with it. So we'll be with Jesse Baker, just named an All-Star. Other All-Stars that have been named: Ryan Retz, Adam Urbania, and Michael Morris, along with Stephen Borkowski. And my apologies, but I missed the sixth person that they named. So Shamanico will be facing Jesse Baker. Baker has a base hit and 3 times at bat, came into the game batting .400. Tanner Geisel will be the on-deck hitter, and Thomas McKenna, who is 1 for 2 tonight, will be the third batter. But the primary thing for the Saguaros now is to get base runners. They've got to have a big inning. 5 runs they're down. First pitch down low to Baker. Samanico is new to the team, so we don't have any records on him. This one is skied down the right field line. Back to get it is Gasper. He catches it in fair territory. So pop out for the first out of the 9th inning. Roswell has gotten them in bunches, 3 in the 2nd and 5 in the 8th. The Saguaros answered back in the 4th inning, but have been shut out before that and after it. Are you kidding me? 1 pitch? Well, the Saguaros are all out there kind of giggling, the invaders are out there kind of giggling and laughing. Not exactly sure what the deal is going on here. Certainly not showing any respect if that's the situation. As they come in with Kerr, who is number 99. Evan Carr. So 99, Evan Carr is into the game. This is the 6th pitcher used. 2 of the pitchers only faced 1 batter, and they were not in a difficult situation. Perdita might have gone out because he got hit with the batted ball, but we do not have a report on that. So oddly enough, another pitcher is coming in for Roswell, New Mexico. Evan Carr coming in with a 7.5 earned run average, a whip of 1.5, which is not particularly good. He's only been pitching 10 2/3 innings. Maybe Roswell got the signal that the fireworks weren't ready. I don't know. Geisel steps in, 1 out. Sidewinder gets the first one in there for a called strike. Another pitcher that has to put Band-Aids on his knuckles as he comes around. Kyle Perez, the second pitcher in the lineup, was that way. And now Carr comes down low. So they have the most interesting group of pitchers here on this Roswell team. Blasted into left field. Geisel just waited on it, smacked it into left for a base hit. Thomas McKenna will come up. McKenna is 1 for 2, base hit the last time he was up in the 7th inning. Has a walk in the 4th and grounded out to the first baseman, Retz. Are you kidding me? They are switching pitchers again. Not exactly sure what kind of a game is going on here. Now, I will say this, that Sean Holloway, the home plate umpire, was the one that chased the manager out in the Saturday night game. And this might be, as they walk by, have a couple of words with each other. And in to pitch is number 36 for the Roswell Invaders, and that is Thomas Huddleston. I don't know. I hate to be a conspiratorial thinker, but I got to think that maybe this has something to do with what happened on Saturday evening. There was a very close play at the plate. And the manager for Roswell came out and had some words with the umpire, went on for some time. Holloway kind of let him go. And then as the manager was walking away, he said something over his shoulder, and Holloway said, "Good night now," and that started the argument all over again. Manager for the Invaders then kicked dirt all over home plate. This was a game that Roswell lost. So I'm just wondering if this isn't a little bit of payback. This is the 7th pitcher that has been used, and out of the 7 pitchers, 3 of them have faced one batter, and they have faced one batter despite the fact that there was nobody on base. Well, now there is someone. And they had an 8-3 lead, so kind of an interesting approach to what's going on here and getting a little bit of annoyance in the fans. First pitch is a strike on the outside corner. I would imagine that Sean Holloway will write this down in his book of memories. McKenna batting .267 coming into the game. Ball into the dirt and a 1-1 count. Got a base hit on a 3-2 pitch in the 7th inning. Walked in the 4th and grounded out to the first baseman in the 3rd inning. Runner on first, Tanner Geisel with a base hit to left field. 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th. Ball comes in pretty close to McKenna. He stayed out of its way, however. And they do have a pitcher warming up in the bullpen. I have got to think this is payback. Inside, 4-1. Keep the umpire out there as long as you can. Keep moving new pitchers in as often as you can, knowing that you have a 5-run pad here. Pitch is outside for a walk. That'll move Geisel over to second base in scoring position. And it'll bring up the pitcher spot. And this will be Danny Droll, the catcher that rotates with Jesse Baker, who is in there. So Droll comes in to pitch hit in the 9th inning. And much to our surprise, there's not going to be a pitching change. This one hit towards first base. The throw to second goes into left field. That'll score a run. Play at third base. Safe. So Danny Droll gets a base hit. That sends McKenna around to third. And that will score Geisel. So at least the Saguaros have gotten one run out of all this nonsense. So Burnell Daly is in there with runners at first and third and one out. Something came out of the stands in right field, or I should say the grass in right field. And Woodard trots over to take care of it. Now it comes in relatively shallow in right field. Back and left is Morita. Cody Bishop in center pretty much straight away. Infield is back. Swung on and hit towards the shortstop, Balkin. Goes to second for one. First base, double play. And that will end it, as the Tucson Saguaros come out on the short end of an 8-3 count. They lost 9-3 on Thursday, 1 on Saturday, split 2 on Sunday. They're getting ready to do fireworks here. And I think just for the heck of it, we might just turn the camera over to the fireworks side and see what's going on. Too late to call the final score in, so hopefully listening, 8-3 is the final score in favor of Roswell, New Mexico. They are now 1.5 games behind the Saguaros in second place in the South. And each is going to have to depend on somebody else to be able to turn things around. We will check the remaining schedule, both home and away. I just have the home schedule on a sheet here that is provided to us. Just an absolutely wonderful crowd tonight. I think I've probably said this way too many times, but we certainly tip of the hat to the people that run the Kino Sports Complex, and in particular the Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium, to doing an outstanding job at putting this thing together. And if you feel like staying with us, please do so as we check on fireworks here. As soon as we find out where they're coming from, I will get a camera on them. Checking to see if Roswell and Tucson play each other again. There we go. If you need to pull, bring it back. Can you get the whole picture? And then just lock it down. Move it to the right. There you go. No, you got it. I was looking at the air. Maybe, there you got it. Cool. All right. Thank you. Well, unfortunately, it's not showing up particularly well on our screen, is it? Oh, well, you get the idea. Thanks for staying there. Appreciate your company. Oh, I love those. Still find it interesting that at 10:30 at night we're shooting fireworks off next to a hospital, but oh well. This is sponsored by KOLD Television and Pima County and the Pecos League as a whole. So I hope that you can pass along to them some congratulations on their involvement in the ball game tonight and the fireworks show for probably close to 5,000 or 6,000 people here in attendance.